Hey there, tech lovers. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic tech stories of our time, the full history of Android, the mobile operating system that changed the world. From humble beginnings as a tiny startup to powering over 3 billion active devices, this is more than just a story about software. It's a story about innovation, competition, open source disruption, and some pretty wild dessert names along the way. Grab a snack, hit that like button, and let's rewind the Android timeline. The pre-Google era. Our story starts in October 2003 in Palo Alto, California. A small company called Android Inc. was founded by 4 people: Andy Rubin, Rich Miner, Nick Sears, and Chris White. Their goal? Build an advanced operating system for digital cameras. That's right, not smartphones. But they quickly realized the market for smart cameras wasn't going to take off. So by mid-2004, they pivoted. The real opportunity was in mobile phones, especially the emerging world of smartphones. They had a bold vision, an open-source, flexible mobile OS that could compete with Microsoft's Windows Mobile, Nokia's Symbian, and the new player on the block, Apple, which had just released the iPhone in 2007. Google buys Android. Google acquired Android Inc. in August 2005 for an estimated $50 million. The acquisition was stealthy. No press release, no fanfare. But behind the scenes, Google was building something big. They wanted to make mobile devices more open and less dependent on proprietary systems. With Android, they could put Google Search, Maps, Gmail, and eventually YouTube into the hands of billions. Andy Rubin stayed on as head of Android, and the small team quietly began building an OS from the ground up. Enter the T-Mobile G1. Fast forward to September 2008. The world meets the HTC Dream, also known as the T-Mobile G1 in the US. It wasn't pretty, thick, with a slide-out keyboard and a trackball, but it was revolutionary. It ran Android 1.0, complete with the Android Market, which later became Google Play, Gmail, Maps, and a web browser. The era of Android had begun. The dessert era, and now comes the delicious part. Android versions were named after desserts, in alphabetical order. Here's a quick rundown of the early releases. 1.5 Cupcake, 2009, introduced on-screen keyboards, widgets, and video recording. 1.6 Donut, better app searching, screen size support. 2.0 Eclair, added turn-by-turn navigation with Google Maps. 2.2 Froyo, added flash support and hotspot functionality. 2.3 Gingerbread, focused on UI and gaming performance. Each version brought something new, and people began anticipating the next sweet treat name. By 2011, we saw Honeycomb, built for tablets. Then Ice Cream Sandwich, 4.0, which unified tablets and phones with a modern UI. Android versus iOS. The competition with Apple started heating up. In 2010, Android overtook iOS in smartphone market share in the US. It grew faster because it was used by multiple manufacturers: Samsung, LG, Motorola, HTC, and more. The rivalry became known as the smartphone wars. Google emphasized openness and customization. Apple focused on simplicity and control. Google responded to the iPhone's polish with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, which smoothed out performance with Project Butter, the Nexus and Pixel eras. Google needed to show what pure Android could do. So in 2010, they launched the Nexus program. Phones like the Nexus 4, 5, and 6P showed off the best of Android, without manufacturer bloatware. But in 2016, Google shifted strategy again. It launched the Pixel series, designed, built, and marketed by Google. Pixel phones were the first to feature Google Assistant, advanced camera AI, and exclusive features like call screening. Big leaps and milestones. Let's walk through some milestone releases. Android 5.0 Lollipop, introduced material design. 6.0 Marshmallow, added app permission controls. 7.0 Nougat, brought split-screen multitasking. 8.0 Oreo, background limits and picture-in-picture. 9.0 Pi, introduced gesture navigation. Android 10, dropped dessert names, focused on privacy. 11.13, continued with privacy foldables and refined UI. Fun fact, Android 10 was originally going to be Queen Cake internally, but Google stopped the dessert branding because of global naming confusion. Android Fun Facts. Ready for rapid-fire Android Fun Facts? Let's go! The green Android mascot was designed by Irina Block, and it's open source. The mascot's unofficial name is Bugdroid. There's a hidden Easter egg in every Android version. Tap repeatedly on the version number in Settings to see it. The Android operating system is based on the Linux kernel. The Android robot was inspired by bathroom signs, simple, human-like, and gender-neutral. Some Android versions never launched publicly, like Petit 4. Android powers cars, Android Auto, TVs, Android TV, watches, Wear OS, and smart home devices. The future of Android. So what's next for Android? Expect more AI integration, better support for foldable devices, and tighter ecosystem control with Google services. Android is also playing a key role in emerging markets, where low-cost smartphones are unlocking internet access for the first time. With Android open-source projects like AOSP, manufacturers and developers can innovate at a faster pace than ever. And that's a wrap on the incredible journey of Android. From startup to smartphone empire. What was your first Android phone? Got a favorite version or fun memory? Drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tech history and future-focused content. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.